I think we're ready to commence the grand finale of Pitch and Invest. Are we excited? Oh, come on, we can do that. Thank you. Thank you for humouring me. Yes. Come on, this is the most exciting thing of the 2 days. Yes, yes. Okay, so we know why we're here, right? So this is the winners' grand finale in association with the $1 million prize money Startup World Cup. So it presumably moves the winners forward towards that grand prize. You've had 2 days, 7 sectors, 20 plus judges, 30 plus startups, and 8 finalists will now repitch. So well done for your stamina, first of all. Massive thank you to our judges for today, who I'm sure you'll meet in greater detail. But we have with us Susannah McClintock, investment partner, Clean Growth Fund. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us. And Marta Gelenscher, Managing Director, UK US Capital Global. Thank you so much, Marta, for being here. In a second, you'll re-meet, I'm sure, Ben Keene and Channa Veli, founder. Sorry, Ben is co-founder of Raaise, and Channa is founder of Kind Community. I'm sure you know them well by this point. But first of all, I want to invite Alex Lubnevsky, ambassador of Pegasus Tech Ventures, who's one of the event organizers, to tell us about this and the next phase as well, because it's very, very exciting. Alex, come on up. Let's have a round of applause for Alex.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone, and thank you all for being here today at the Startup World Cup London. Startup World Cup is the #1 pitching competition in the world, and this is all thanks to partners like Raaise Connect, Startup Here Today, and everyone sat in the audience. Thank you for your support. My name is Alex, I'm the ambassador for the Startup World Cup, and I'm here today to tell you why we're excited to be sharing the stage here in London. But before that, many thanks to Raaise Connect for partnering with Startup World Cup and for hosting such a great event here today in London. Without them, we would not be able to support global entrepreneurial community. Well, Startup World Cup is a series of global startup conferences and pitching competition hosted across 100 plus regional events in over 80 countries. That all culminate to our 2025 grand finale event hosted in Silicon Valley, where all winning startups from all regional events will compete for the main prize of $1 million in investment. This past year alone, we have accumulated more than 10K startup applications and 50K attendees joining our events. Startup World Cup is powered by Pegasus Tech Ventures. It's a global venture capital firm founded in 2011. Now it has over $2 billion in assets under management across 40 funds. We have invested into 280 companies globally with 73 exits and 23 IPOs. Some companies we have invested into you may be familiar with, including such well-known names as Airbnb, SpaceX, X, formerly Twitter, Instacart, DoorDash, and so on. Pegasus differentiates itself with our unique business model we call Venture Capital as a Service. We have a network of 40-plus corporate partners. Most of them are members of Global Fortune 500 list and other multinational corporations from a wide variety of industries such as consumer electronics, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, IT, gaming, etc. So we work with them closely, making strategic investments into emerging startups, and we help to facilitate business collaboration between these corporations and startups. So our goal is to accelerate the success of our portfolio companies by connecting them to corporations and creating for them opportunities in business development, distribution, and global expansion. Startup World Cup is on its mission to uncover visionary and innovative products and services all around the world. We want to connect global entrepreneurial community by promoting the spirit of innovation and risk-taking, gathering it all together and elevating through our Startup World Cup platform. This cycle has started pretty early, so we have hosted many events in Europe, of course, in Asia, North and South America, Africa, Australia. So, as you may see, Startup World Cup has been on each single continent. Each blue dot on this map is Startup World Cup regional event. Grand Finale is a great event. It hosts itself for more than 3K attendees and scheduled for middle October in San Francisco. Attendees of Grand Finale have included large tech corporations, C-level executives, government officials, of course, venture capital firms, as well as thought leaders, fellow global startups, and tech journalists from major media outlets. Startup World Cup Grand Finale previous speakers list have included C-level executives from companies such as Apple, Netflix, Tesla, Uber, Pfizer, and the popular American startup TV show ABC Shark Tank. We also make sure that we bring in top VCs to judge for the Grand Finale. They have included managing partners from firms like Y Combinator, Kleiner Perkins, NIA, Ursula Ventures, and so on. Speaking about the Grand Finale, you all are invited. We have, for over 6 years of hosting Grand Finale, we have had winners from Canada, Japan, Vietnam, and the USA. So we guys really need someone from Europe. Please scan this QR code to grab a 20% discount and support the winner from the UK. Also, I'm delighted to announce that we have just launched our new mentorship program. So we have over 200 experts ready to be matched with startups and help them to find their way to growth. So if you would like to become a member of this community and become a mentor, please scan this QR code and fill the interest form, and we will get in touch with you and share more information because we have many benefits for our mentors. This is my favorite slide. So as you may see, we're looking for talents not only in the tech industry. This is our brand new dance challenge. Please scan this QR code to get know more about how to participate and grab your chance to win $100,000. That's not $1 million, but still. This is our presentation breakdown for today. Each startup will be given 4 minutes for pitching, followed by 3 minutes Q&A session. Then judges will elaborate and will announce the winner. Speaking about judges, so there are a little bit more, but many thanks to you for generosity of your time, for your expertise and your efforts in helping us to select the winner. These are all of our social media channels, so you can follow Startup World Cup on your favorite platform. Also, if you post any photos from today's pitching, please add these hashtags. This is almost everything I have for today, and we can continue the ceremony, but in the end, if it plays, I would like to show you the video. Oh no.
Thank you. Chris, you want to go help him?
Yeah, but...
No, exactly. The videos won't play. That's one.
Up. Okay. Okay. So I think now we're good to continue the ceremony because the video is not working just the usual. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. Okay, are we ready to pitch? Everyone bought their money? Yes.
I've got mine.
You've got your mine. It's not going to be much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben Keene, and I'm here with Jana Veli. We've had the pleasure of watching and hosting all these pitches and presentations over the last couple of days. Jana, tell us briefly why you're here at Reset Connect, what you do, and what you've observed from the last 2 days of presentations.
Yeah, well, I'm here to represent Kind Community. We're a business that builds and scales kind companies. I've had the pleasure of hosting pitches throughout the morning and here with you now. One thing that kind of stood out to me from today's pitches and presentations, a bit of feedback for me, is that simple scales, complex fails. And that goes down to your pitch presentations as well. We don't want to see reams and reams of pages of text. Show, don't tell. So with videos, we'll tell 1,000 words. Keep it simple, and you'll be easier to communicate the value proposition. What about yourself, Ben?
The thing that stands out for me from this particular event over the last 2 days is that there's a lot of talent. And I think it's the combination. What's so hard in this industry is combining real expertise from the scientific sectors, which we know we have in the UK and we have a lot of in this event, with the deep tech skills and the commercial skills. And we heard a lot over there of people who've had, there were more people with PhDs than without.
Mm-hmm.
It was intimidating. And those people with PhDs are now building commercially viable businesses. And those people who've worked in science and technology for years are now building big impact businesses. And for me, that's brilliant, because it just means that the credibility and the quality is there from the start. So that was really exciting. So well done to everyone. The reason that I'm interested is because I run a platform called Raaise. It's Australian, Raaise, with 2 A's. And we're matching impact founders and investors. And it's been really hard for the last 10 years. And we're using AI, and we're finding now that these startups with real credibility and good traction are getting funding quicker. So that's why we're all here. Should we meet the judges?
Let's meet the judges. So, could I bring onto the stage Marta, who is the Managing Director of US Capital Global. And we have Susannah as the Investment Partner at Clean Growth Fund. So while you get settled, could each of you give us a quick introduction, a bit about your thesis and what you look for when you invest? That'd be great.
You ready? You're on. You're good to go.
Is that on? Oh yeah, super loud. Hi everybody, I'm Susannah McClintock. I'm a partner at a venture capital fund here in London called Clean Growth Fund. We invest, not entirely logically, at seed and Series A and not at growth stage. But we're looking for businesses that are in the clean growth sector, particularly those that have the ability to make significant emissions reductions in the carbon space. Very happy to be here. Just in terms of kind of the pitches, my shortest shorthand for what I look for when companies pitch is team, traction, and roadmap. So what have you done to date? What's your plan for the future? And have you got the right people to do that?
Thank you. Marta?
Amazing. Thank you so much. It was challenging to climb onto this stage, into the stool, so I'm very happy to be here. I represent US Capital Global, and ironically, or just happens that our headquarters is in San Francisco. So I'm sure we have the team to attend at the time. We are corporate finance and advisory for mid-sized companies, typically in the 10 million up, raised to about 500 in various sectors, but my personal passion is definitely around sustainability and renewable energy, so I'm very excited about this. And yeah, I think I couldn't say anything different to Susannah about what we're looking for, but the personality and also the knowledge, but I think the relatability as well as, of course, the sound business that we're looking for.
Okay, so be yourselves. Fantastic. Thank you, judges. Let's start. How this is going to work. Yes, more applause. Thank you, sir. Is this a family member? Junior, okay. He's a fan. So how this is going to work, each startup, 9 startups coming, get 4 minutes, and then a 3-minute Q&A with our wonderful judges. And then we roll and we roll and roll. Okay, so hey, think about which one sticks with you. In terms of the audience, if there are ways that you think you can help these startups with their goals and anything they're doing, please reach out to them whilst we're doing this. Do it while you're in the room. It's much easier than later. All right, ready to go? Sandra from SIAB has kindly said she'll go first. Please welcome Sandra.
Round of applause.
There we go. On? It's on?
There we go.
Okay, now we're set. We've got a mic. That's always a good start. So good morning. My name is Sandra Sasso, and I'm the CEO and founder of SIAB Energy. So I want you to think a little bit about food waste and sludge. There are 1.3 billion tons of food waste and 50 million tons of sludge that are being incinerated or landfilled every day. That creates more emissions than the entirety of the aviation industry. So for those of you who flew here and you've offset your carbon, maybe next time think about what you're doing with your sludge and your food waste. So that's why I got involved. I'm a serial entrepreneur. My team, my senior team are from PW. One of them is from the renewable energy sector and has 20 years of renewables experience. And the other one has scaled and exited via IPO and trade sale in other businesses as well. So we're well set to scale this business. What we looked at was whether we could do, and it's not working. Let's move it forward. There we go. Whether you can do something. So think about your home, your business. What if you could convert that food waste or that sludge into renewable energy on site? What if you could recapture the water that's in that waste and reuse it? Well, that can happen right now. That's what we do at SIAB. At SIAB, we've converted shipping containers into a modular formatted anaerobic digestion system. What does that mean? We convert the waste on site in a building like this. We would convert the food waste from out front into the lights for the building, recover the heat for the hot water, and give you back a greener environment to work in. We do that with data analytics as well included, giving you the carbon accounting to make it more sustainable. And we're doing all of that in a scalable format. What we've created a channel partnership structure. So we've got scale out in the marketplace. We have partners doing the selling for us, doing the building for us, and helping us scale this business. So who are we going after as customers? Well, we have very nicely focused on the customers that are focused on their own sustainability. There is these science-based target initiatives. There are 10,000 corporates, 10,000 plus as of Monday, corporates that have incorporated these science-based target initiatives in how they rate their sustainability and the targets that they announce. Within that 10,000, there are 1,000 that form the bigger market for us, and within that, there are 400 that form the beachhead, which is the food production sector, which is the main sector we're going after. That food production sector makes up has a need. They've done everything. They've done the reduction. They've done the efficiency measures. They've reduced the water consumption when they flush the toilet. They've done all of those things. But what they haven't addressed is the waste. And that's where we step in. We're helping them both for themselves and also for their supply chain. So for example, a food manufacturer we're working with works with Tesco. Tesco is requiring them to reduce their Scope 1 emissions and Scope 3 so that Tesco can also reduce their Scope 3 emissions. So it has a knock-on effect and it creates the market for us. So as a first step, we're growing by 200%. These are some of the clients that we're working with. They're blue chip customers. We are scaling. We are now in 6 countries with partners in 13, and we intend to continue to scale. We're at 2 million in revenue, which is all coming in June, which is our year end, and we're scaling to 12 million as a target next year, 6 million of which is already committed within the existing customer base. We have 79 million in our pipeline of organizations that we're working with, which will help us scale to the next level. By 2027, we will have recurring revenue from both the software, the franchise fees from the channel partners of 8.6 million. So why do we have recurring revenue? Well, we're doing two ways of selling to our customers. We have a leasing franchise model through this customer segment, which are channel partners, but we also have waste as a service. So a lot of the corporates are used to buying units in on a service contract or buying the service in on a service contract. So we're offering them the same thing again. That gives us the recurring revenue. Our units are good for 20 years. We do a 10-year contract. So we'd like you to join the movement as a client, as a channel partner, or as an investor. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sandra. Could you say a bit more about the waste as a service model and kind of how that is financed and how that returns revenue to you?
Sure. So we've managed to raise project finance. So we have an initial 20 million pot of project finance to establish. We put the units in on a company site. They buy the electricity and the heat off of us, and then we either sell them the carbon credits or we negotiate those onto a voluntary platform that we're aligned with. We've taken an investment from a climate fund as well as Enagas, who are the gas network operator of Spain, and then we've also taken an investment from a waste management company. So all of those help us look at the carbon market as well.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thank you. Very good presentation. Thank you so much, Sandra. You covered many of the points that we were looking for. I just wanted to ask you a bit more about your position and the competition and anybody else is doing what you're doing and in terms of the traction with the customers.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So in terms of competition, I'd say still our main competition are the collection companies that offer it as a service. There are individual smaller corporates in various geographies that are very geographic specific, that have 1 or 2 or 3 installations, but we're working with large corporate where they might have 50 factory sites, and we're starting to roll out within those 50 factory sites. So that's giving us that global footprint in a very accelerated manner. And so we were a first mover. We have our patents. We have the patents granted around the form factor of the technology, and we're continuing to stay ahead.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. Big round of applause. Back to checking that bank account. All the money. I don't think anyone gets all the money in June. That's amazing. Okay, next up. Judges, are you ready to move swiftly on? Fantastic. Next up, we have from Circular 11, Ben. Welcome. You're on. Let's go.
Thanks very much. Pleasure to be with you all. Lovely to meet you, Marta. Great to see you, Susannah. My name's Ben. I'm the co-founder of Circular 11. We create carbon negative composite materials from unrecyclable plastic. And we do so in order to meet the billion-ton-a-year shortfall of timber that's expected by 2050. We founded this company after working on a waste management project in Nepal, where I went to bed each night with the smell of burning plastic in our nostrils. This is how the families we lived with, like 30% of the world, have to deal with their plastic waste. And when we came back to the UK, we realized we're doing pretty much the same thing here. Of the plastic that reaches, you'll see some of the slides at some point, it doesn't matter. Of the plastic that reaches a recycling facility in Europe, on average, 90% of it will be incinerated. The primary reason for this is simple. There are dozens of chemically similar plastic types. There are hundreds of different grades of plastic within each type, and there are thousands of different additives within each grade. So the reason why plastic is good is because you can tailor it to its application, and that's what makes it a nightmare to deal with. You cannot mechanically recycle mixed streams. You cannot effectively chemically recycle them either. But I want to contrast this set of problems with a very, very different crisis that's facing the construction sector. There is far too little material to supply the global supply chains. Timber is the prime example for us here. Over the next 25 years, timber demand will be tripling. And timber takes a long time to grow. It's increasingly stressed because of climate pressures. Quality is degrading. But most importantly, timber preservatives are being phased out. They have the most common ones have been banned between 2013 and 2023. So the lifespan of timber assets has gone from 30 years to an average of 6 to 7 over the past 5 years. We create a very humble-looking product. It is, as you see, a plank. And it's a plank that lasts 3 to 5 times longer than timber. It's made from unrecyclable mixed streams, so it directly diverts plastic incineration emissions. But most importantly, we have halved the cost base of manufacturing within our sector. And we've been able to do this because we spent the last 3 years developing machine learning-driven manufacturing systems that ingest material characterization data in real time, and we feed that into models that we've trained to adjust processing parameters and formulations to keep the output consistent and compensate for any changes that we see in the input. So we can take a much wider range of mixed streams than any traditional manufacturer. We get paid for our feedstock. We don't depend on that revenue, but the point is we can take stuff that no one else sees as a feedstock. This allows us to price ourselves at the same level as timber, whereas plastic, which normally lasts a lot longer, also charges a very high premium, and that's because the cost of goods is so high. Timber is a huge market. It's a $250 billion global market, and the outdoor timber applications that we look at are around 140 billion pounds a year. Primarily, this is fencing, decking, light shelters, cladding, and we can go into railway sleepers and the like. We've brought together a team of polymer scientists, of data scientists, and a really world-class set of advisory members which have scaled manufacturing operations before. And we've already maxed out our first facility. We operate down in Dorset. We've quadrupled our capacity over the last 2 months alone. And we've reached a point of pretty much cash flow break even, but we cannot fit anything more. The electrical infrastructure is maxed out. And we're only able to serve a very small fraction of the demand in our pipeline. All of the contracts that we're servicing are between 500,000 and £1 million a year, and our facility can only do a small fraction of that, £300,000 a year. We finished 12-month trials with National Highways. I should hurry up, sorry. Let me just finish on this point. Our vision is this. Composite and plastic lumber manufacturers can and must reach the same scale as global timber suppliers if we're to meet the major resource challenges of the next 20 or 30 years. This technology unlocks our ability to do that. We're raising £2 million. We've got half of that committed. Pleasure to be with you all. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Judges?
Thank you so much, Ben. That was very good. Of course, lots of questions. We don't have time for that. But I just wanted to understand more about the traction so far. You mentioned about a very large pipeline. Where are we going? Where is the road heading to?
The biggest customers we have immediately are national decking companies, national fencing companies, and national furniture companies. We spent the first 2 years selling all of these products to governments and councils. Much larger contracts when we go up the value chain, and we just sell the materials now. So now the contract sizes are about 10 times what they used to be. Ultimately, we're in negotiations for, as an example, a £5 million fencing contract with National Highways. We've got a lot of different types of bids with them. That infrastructure client is the next level up. Those have larger contract sizes, but slower cash flows, longer lead times, a little bit more regulated. Above that, national wholesalers, Travis Perkins, Jewson's, those are very, very large value chains, but they take time.
Thanks, Ben. Just to follow on from that about those very large customers, how will you scale? I mean, the CapEx requirement and the kind of plan for that.
So we're confident that we're going to scale. We've already put £100,000 worth of deposits on all of the industrial machinery. So despite a 9-month lead time, they are arriving in October. So I need to raise money to make sure that we can move into the new facility for then. We will be profitable by February. If we're able to move in, there's a 2-month commissioning process, and we've got the demand there. So that next facility can go up to 9 million. And we'll spend the seed round basically optimizing the manufacturing configuration so that we can scale with a combination of debt and growth finance, roughly a £10 million a year facility, CapEx 3 million, gross margins 55%, and so we think it has the fundamental financials that we can scale as the operator. I know that that's sometimes something which investors want to talk a lot more about, but we have a good operators team, so we're going for it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Ben.
Okay, cheers.
Appreciate it, Ben.
Thank you.
Great stuff. That was Ben from Circular 11. Up next, we have Clement from Tariff Tribe.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here. I'm Clement Atwood, co-founder of Tariff Tribe. And today I'm going to talk to you about how we're saving businesses 20% through our intelligent marketplace. So the reason we built Tariff Tribe is because we saw that small businesses were getting a poor deal on their energy. They pay them more than any other sector, and they're subject to mis-selling by energy brokers. The core of the problem is in this chart over here, the difference between the red line, which is business consumption throughout the day, and the purple line. Businesses consume much more during off-peak times, when there's more renewables on the grid, and when prices are cheaper, but they're currently seeing zero benefit from that. On the market at the moment, there's currently no software that's meeting this demand, telling businesses the best tariff that they should be on for their consumption. In the UK alone, this is a £2.6 billion opportunity. Looking across EU liberalised markets, this grows to 15 billion. So how do we save businesses 20% on their energy? First off, smarter tariff matching. We don't just find businesses the lowest rates, we find the best tariff structure for their demand. So that could be a constant rate tariff or a bespoke time of use rate tariff. Next, we group these businesses together in bundles of demand, meaning we can negotiate below market rates that they wouldn't normally have access to. Those bundles then go into our marketplace, and energy suppliers bid for those contracts in a reverse auction, meaning that the lowest price wins, not just the highest commission. This is all wrapped up in a clean digital experience with better billing, transparency, and sustainability built in. For example, 75% of businesses experience inaccuracies with their billing in the last year. Our platform fixes that by integrating automated bill validation into the platform. And the market is telling us that we're onto something. We're continually beating the market in terms of price. Our customers are giving us great reviews. And as a result, they're referring us to other SMEs without any incentive. So what's the business model for Tariff Tribe? It's pretty straightforward. We add a 0.8 pence per kilowatt hour uplift to the electricity. That's equal to about 2 to 3% of the electricity bill. We also sell our intelligence from our switching platform and from our data products to energy suppliers in the market. And we earn additional revenue from other utilities such as water and gas. And Tariff Tribe really benefits from scale. So you can imagine the more SMEs that we get on the platform, the more optimal the bundles that we can create on our platform, gives better deals and more growth on the platform. On the other side, the more energy suppliers we have on the platform means more competition, mean we get better price outcomes for those SMEs, and that drives further growth. So right now, our go-to-market strategy is focused on leveraging trusted networks. So that means working with sales partners such as heads of leaders of business and accountancies, working with network partners such as business improvement districts and franchise chains. Using these networks means that we can reach many SMEs at once with a low cost of acquisition, generating warm leads. And Tariff Tribe is growing fast. Since we launched in January, we've signed up 50 SMEs and switched 38 of those. We're on track by August with the deals that we've signed to have 50 sales per month and should be profitable by February 2026 with a current annual revenue of 200 ARR. So myself and Dylan, we've been working together since 2022. We met studying data science at UCL. We've built leading edge energy products for the likes of Google, Ofgem and National Grid, growing our revenue to 1 million this year. That's why we're best placed to take this product to market. We have a deep knowledge of the energy retail space and want to deliver at scale.
Thank you, Clement. We can pause it there.
Yeah.
Got all the information, my answer. The questions, judges, please. Let's give Clement a round of applause. Tariff Tribe, great name. Judges.
Thanks, Clement. This intuitively feels like a really competitive space, already a marketplace for energy that we all use every day. So what differentiates you? Why will customers go with you?
Yeah, so I think the core of our platform is really what differentiates us. So some of the leaders like Bionic and Love Energy Savings, they will take your estimated annual consumption for your power and give you a quote based on that. They won't give you any intelligence about what tariff you should be on. So that really means that we can offer better value to customers at the end of the day. So we also want to cut through that noise. So there's a lot of pressure selling in this market, and we want to be kind of max out on transparency. So we want to be the leader in terms of information for this market, for the small business community. So when they go into contract, they know that the price they're getting is fair.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was going to ask you about at the moment you're going through sales network and word of mouth and SMEs, but how are you looking to scale this to capture that large market you mentioned, and how does the business model relate to that?
Yeah, sure. So in the first instance, as I mentioned, we're working through network partners. So that enables us with a smaller headcount to reach more SMEs with warm leads. Longer term, we'll look to more direct marketing. Our medium-term vision is to become that go-to voice for energy advice for the business community. Think of Martin Lewis for the small business sector, and that will really kind of generate growth longer term in a more organic fashion. And the business model remains the same essentially. We will continue to charge that uplift on the unit rates. As we get more traction in the market, we'll look to other business models. So the likes of Octopus Energy don't currently work with TPIs because they don't like the broker uplift model. So longer term, we want to kind of try and influence the market and move to a cost of acquisition model if we can.
Great. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Clement. Well done. Moving on. Judges, this is back-to-back work for you. There we go. Do you need anything? You're good?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. We'll keep going. Ready for the next presenter? They're all good. So next up we have Arzu from OTAN. Please welcome Arzu.
Hello everyone, this is Arzu. I'm the CEO of OTAN. At OTAN, we are reimagining waste and reinventing materials for zero waste future. 1/3 of global carbon dioxide emissions come from the way we extract, grow, and manufacture materials. Key industries, agriculture, construction, plastics, mining, consume vast amount of resources. Even sustainable materials often rely on natural resources. We design a new circular supply chain that regenerates, not extracts. Each year, 2 billion tons of agricultural waste, eggshells, nutshells, expired rice go unused. We transform this waste into solid, high-performance materials. By doing so, we cut carbon dioxide emissions, lower the energy use, and avoid resource extraction. Our target market is £270 billion solid materials market in built environment, automotive transportation, and consumer goods. Our beachhead market is sustainable materials, which we now focus on furniture, interior design, and construction. Over the years, we developed more than 25 materials, including our flagship material, Eggy and Nutty. Eggy is made from eggshells, and Nutty is from nutshells. Eggy, and we use local producers. We use the raw material. We get the waste from local producers. Eggy uses 85% less virgin materials, reduces the carbon dioxide emissions by 65%, and fully recyclable to new OTAN materials. Our production process can seamlessly integrate into existing manufacturer processes with almost zero switching costs, which makes our production process adaptable, scalable, and versatile. Here you can see OTAN materials in the real world. First image is from Porsche's concept car project, and second image is from Otto Lengi's test kitchen, where we used expired lentils on the wall panels and on the furniture. And last two photos are from Nespresso's retail furniture. In a short period of time, we got significant inbound traction from renowned companies. And we had 35 customers where they used OTTAM materials in their pilot projects and POCs, which made us generate 60,000 revenue with zero marketing budget. Our materials outperform both traditional and sustainable materials by low greenhouse gas emissions, high recycled content, and competitive pricing. As we started to work with the distributors, we are expecting to hit £200,000 in revenue by the end of this year. And as we shift into licensing model, our scale is set to grow significantly. In our team, Aisha has 8 years of dedication in developing materials. Ömer has more than 20 years of sales and marketing experience. And I bring 13 years of product development and operations experience. All combined, we have more than 40 years of experience in product development, operations, and marketing. And we have a strong advisory board. Now we are raising £2 million to grow our sales, scale our production, focusing on R&D and patent applications. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arzu.
Just how much better do eggy and nutty sound in that accent?
I was going to say, I've learned something today.
I was like, what? And then I was eggy and nutty. Okay, they sound terrible in my harsh English accent. Thank you very much. What I heard was several different products, all quite bespoke. Which one of those do you think will really bring you big scale and how?
Eggy and nutty. Because there is a huge agricultural waste. This is how the idea came from. And eggshells are quite durable, and it's performs very well in terms of materials. So eggy and nutty, they will be our winners.
Thanks.
And at the risk of asking something silly, but obviously you've got the on-takers for the eggshells and the nuts, and there is enough in the world, and it's easy to and cost-effective to separate them from the rest of the agricultural waste?
Sorry, could you please repeat?
As in, is it easy to get access to the...
Yes. We work with local producers that they imagine that they work with cake factories. They give the egg yolk, they give the egg white, and the eggshells are the waste. And we use that waste instead of cutting forests, or we want to use the waste. We don't want to extract.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Arzu.
Thank you.
Pleased to say we're halfway through.
Yeah, well done.
Up next, we have Seth from Asuna. Round of applause, please.
Great. Thank you, everyone. My name is Seth Warren. I'm from Asawene. We are a Japanese company. We are based in Tokyo, but we're expanding rapidly across the UK and Europe. Asawene in Japanese means tomorrow energy, and that's what we're trying to bring about, right? The future of energy and the future of carbon management for our world globally. Our mission is simple, but it's also quite motivating for us. It's to create or to change the world for the next generation. And ultimately, our leverage point in that is in supply chain decarbonization. So we're seeking to be the operating system for decarbonization, connecting complex global supply chains from east to west. We offer a suite of solutions. Asawene, a carbon accounting platform. Asawene LCA, we have an ESG reporting platform. We also have verification, carbon credits trading, and our Asawene career platform. We're currently operating, we are a startup, scale up, but we're already operating at scale, serving about 12,000 clients across Asia, and now we're bringing that expertise to the UK and to Europe. Ultimately, where we shine is in scope 3. And where we seek to support the UK and Europe is that many factories, many companies, manufacturers are still sourcing a lot of their components from Asia. We work with companies like Honda, Sony, Mitsubishi. And ultimately, if you're looking to understand your scope 3, your supply chain, much of that footprint is in Asia, particularly your embedded carbon. And also, many companies are using spend-based proxies. And that leaves you in a bind because you don't truly understand your carbon emissions, right? And you don't really have a mechanism to actually reduce those over time. So what we do is we get real data. We have in-market teams in China, Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, Philippines, throughout East and Southeast Asia. And we bring together an automated plus human-in-the-loop process. We've learned a lot from these companies about efficiency, about process management, and we've built that into our model to make the most efficient yet human-centric approach to supply chain engagement in the market. In terms of our track record, again, we're working with companies, 10,000 or so companies or more. We have a business process outsourcing approach, systematized, and again, for the European market, we can make it very, very cost effective for those reasons. We were founded by Kohei Nishiwada, now Japan's top 20 entrepreneurs. We've raised just recently our Series C, bringing our funding total to 72 million, and we're expanding aggressively outside of Japan. Our key business milestones are we have 410 staff now. In the last 3 years, we've gone from 20 to 410. We now have 6 offices, and we've acquired 5 companies over the past year. And again, we're looking to grow, especially in US and European markets. Our strengths are really in supplier engagement, end-to-end, and creating, on the one hand, a human-in-the-loop approach, leveraging real humans to engage with suppliers to understand Scope 3, and also providing that end-to-end support that's required across gathering your data, reporting it, right, and understanding how you can convert that into credits as well. So in terms of what's next for us, we are excited to be raising more funds, working with more partners, and bringing on clients here in the UK. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you very much. Well done. 20 to 410 staff in 3 years. My goodness. Judges.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to ask you about those 12,000 existing customers, who they are, and how is your business model exactly working?
Sure, yeah. So our focus industries are manufacturing, logistics, construction, engineering, and retail. We work with companies in a variety of manufacturing industries, certainly automotive, consumer electronics is significant for us, because of course our market is very strong in Japan. And also heavy industries, companies like Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and others. But of course we work with retailers as well as construction and engineering firms. So we've been working in Singapore with associations for real estate, for development, and looking at all sorts of different applications of our service now. That said, when it comes to the UK and Europe, our focus is how can we create more transparency for any company in the UK and Europe that's doing business with Asia, right? How can you really understand the carbon footprint of the products that you're sourcing? Right? Because just about every company here in Europe is still sourcing something. Even if it's being assembled, even if it's being manufactured, they're still sourcing something from Asia.
Definitely. And your business model?
Our business model, software, so subscription model, and so we'll work with companies certainly on a bespoke basis as well. But there's a variety of different platforms that we have on offer, and happy to share more on that to anyone who's interested.
Thanks very much for the presentation. Clearly 12,000 customers is going very well, and what I hear is this is about measuring for Scope 3, but from an impact perspective, are you providing to what extent do you work with those companies to kind of reduce? So beyond measurement, how are you influencing impact?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question because that opens it up. We work with partners in market in every market that we work with. So if there are any interested parties here that are working directly with clients, consultants, software solutions, and others, right? We have a marketplace and a set of partners that we work with on decarbonization solutions that we recommend on the basis of the work that we do. So while we don't do that ourselves, we'd love to work with others.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Seth. And also to your colleague, Una, who we met yesterday. It was fantastic. Thank you very much, Seth. Next up, rapid changes here. All right, judges, we're doing well. Come on, Chris. Let's go. Okay, ready? There's Virginia. Next up, we have Virginia from Luwatt. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Here she is.
Hello, my name is Virginia Gardner, and I am the founder and CEO of Luwatt, and we are working to shift the sanitation paradigm globally through innovative technology and also pioneering urban service models. So why are we here? The global sanitation crisis is a huge problem which is affecting about 3.5 billion people. More than 750 million people in sub-Saharan Africa cities live without access to safe sanitation. Improving sanitation can positively impact all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, and that also includes greenhouse gas emissions. Recent studies have shown that in typical African cities, for example, about 50% of greenhouse gas emissions from methane and nitrous oxide is coming from untreated human waste and latrines. And only 33% of the global population has access to sewers, and that indicates already that we need new technologies and new systems to deliver essential services for people around the world. Luwatt is a leader in the development of sustainable and scalable non-sewered sanitation, and we are working to expand in Africa and beyond. We have developed a new kind of product family that supports high-quality waterless sanitation and circular economies. And presently, more than 60,000 people are using our toilets on average per year. We've generated approximately $4 million in revenues to date. Our technology is patented, and this year our services internationally are set to reach EBITDA positive. And we're raising money to expand our production capacity and localize production to drive down cost of toilets. We believe that to drive systemic change in sanitation, you need to provide a toilet which not only is safe and clean and protects water resources and supports circular economies, but brings joy to everyday life by providing a great user experience to the end user. You have to deliver that value to create models that can be financially sustainable. So we've established the technology in the UK. We built services in Madagascar, which are on track to reach EBITDA positive this year, and now we're replicating that service model in South Africa, all with local teams who are growing the services. Our waterless toilets use a packaging system that users call on par with a flush toilet. They're serviced regularly, and all the toilet inputs are fed into circular economy systems at the back end. We also use technology to track services and impact, and our system is readily adopted into existing utility infrastructure, meaning that it can be scaled up rapidly in cities. In South Africa, the servicing company Kulula, now scaling up Luwatt services, can reach a market worth 220 million plus, and this replicable model can reach a market worth more than 50 billion globally. We complement business to customer with business to business, so we're delivering a kind of cross-subsidized model where individual homes pay for toilets at home, and also we do event toilets so that we can have financially sustainable services quickly in our target markets. Customers love our toilet, and we have plenty of evidence of that. So just a snapshot at our 2024 impact numbers. I'd like to highlight that more than 60% of our contract holders are women. More than 1,000 farmers used fertilizer from our biogas and fertilizer production facilities in South Africa and in Madagascar last year. And we now have over 1,000 toilets in service. Our UK team is very lean, focused on product and delivering product to the end users and through outsourced manufacture. And then we have very strong executive teams that are locally run in both South Africa and Madagascar and supported by amazing boards of directors in each country. Most recently, our UK board has been joined by Gavin McGillivray, who was leading many important projects at DFID for the last 21 years, and Maggie Clout, who led sanitation at the Gates Foundation. We're raising $2 million to expand services in South Africa, localize production, and continue developing the partnerships we need to drive the circular economy. We've secured about 40% of that funding now, and we're looking to secure the rest this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you so much, Virginia. That's brilliant and clearly something that is very impactful. In this business, of course, apart from customers, what support have you gained in terms of traction from government, NGOs, other organizations with your mission?
Thank you. That's a great question. And in fact, partnering locally with utilities and cities is crucial to our scale-up model. In Madagascar, we have an established partnership with the waste utility, which we use to feed waste into a network of decentralized anaerobic digesters that are operated by them, and also a partnership with the city who support scaling up B2C services. And in South Africa, similarly, we have partnerships with local utilities as well as NGOs involved with circular economy. And we're in discussions with major urban governments who are seeking to innovate in terms of their sanitation service delivery away from chemical toilets and into toilets like ours.
And you get monetary support as well?
Yes, we do. At times we do, yeah. And also those government relationships enable us to unlock finance from other sources.
Yeah. Amazing, thank you.
Thanks so much. Brilliant presentation. Could you just say a little bit more about the financial side? I suppose that's always going to be a question when you're selling into developing markets, etc. So kind of how do the finances for those sales work?
Yeah, so our toilets currently, at the current fairly low production capacity, can deliver a gross profit margin of 40% on the sale. That could be much better as we scale up. Our servicing companies, so if you look at our Madagascar 2025 results, their consolidated gross profit margin across home services, commercial services, and fertilizer sales was about 50%. So already pretty healthy, operating at a fairly small scale. And that's through combining home services, commercial services, and circular economy fertilizer sales.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Virginia. Really appreciate it. That's Luwat. Up next, we have Richard from Qualis. Here we go.
Great, thank you. Just before I get started, I've got a couple of samples to hand over to the judges there. Thank you. Look, those are some materials from some of our customers. We're in the leather sector. We don't make leather, but we're supplying a technology into it. Just before I get started into the slides, the context we're in here is that we're all about to face a lot of regulatory change, a lot of behavioral change in the fashion sector. The fashion sector encourages us to consume and use short-lasting products that are made of plastics that don't biodegrade and that need continual replenishment. A lot of the new regulation that's coming in is quite naturally forcing us towards much longer-lasting products, much more towards natural products and ones that are going to be biodegradable at the end of their life. And that's exactly what we're feeding into, is that trend. So what we do is we enable tanneries to make the same leather they're making today as they're continuing to improve the chemicals and so on, but using much less water, much less of those same chemicals, and indirectly much less energy, much less carbon in the process. In terms of the sector, there's about 20 million tons a year of hides coming out of the meat sector around the world, and about 13 million tons of that is converted into leather, which is arguably the original upcycled product. And that's a product that lasts for, can last for, for many, many decades, and one that you can grow to love and really enjoy as a physical product. But the tanning industry has a pretty bad history of a lot of water use, really toxic chemicals, and so even for the good actors today, they've really improved a lot over the decades, but there's not been a lot of innovation in how to do better the manufacturing and production process. So what we're doing is just to explain the process briefly, we're replacing about 40 or 50% of the process water that used in the process of tanning and dyeing the leather. And what we're doing is by reducing that process water, we're replacing it with small beads, what we call spheres. And what those spheres do is they enable the chemicals to be spread around the surface of the hides during the production process much more efficiently than just using water on its own. When you're making leather, you're doing it in a big drum that's tumbling around for maybe 10 or 20 hours. We can help reduce that time. We had one example from a customer who reduced the cycle time from 19 hours down to 12. So really efficient on the speed of operation. But the core commercial benefit is reducing the chemicals by around 20%. And the chemicals are normally the number one or number two cost of goods. So everyone likes to talk about the water saving because it's a big number, 40 or 50%, but the real commercial driver for most of our customers is that chemical saving, because tanning is not generally a high margin business. One of our most recent clients is one of the Chanel tanneries in France, and for them, the cost of the leather is not the driver of their margins. What is really important for them is that transition that we're all going into and the story they have to be able to tell around a much lower environmental footprint. They're early movers on net zero targets, water targets, and that's why they're adopting our system. So the business model is, there is some installation fees to put some equipment in to handle these little spheres that we're putting into the process, but the business model is really around that monthly usage fee for the technology that we're adopting. So it's really we're renting out our system, and that's basically on the number of tons of leather they're making every month. The pricing model just now is approximately a 6-month ROI for the customers. So having put the system in, they can then start using that on some of their drums, and so the payback on each new drum they're going in is about 6 months on average. So where are we in terms of commercial rollout? We've got 4 customers in India, 2 in Mexico, 1 in Brazil, and then the Chanel tannery in France. Right now we're focused on growing both the India and Mexico operations to cash flow positive, and then next year is really about growing out into Italy and around Europe, and then Brazil. Our CEO is Kerry Brosner. He's with us here this week, based in the US, but 30 years in the industry. I'm an early seed investor who then ended up joining the team. 2025 is our growth year, and just to end on the ask, we're raising 400K of a 1.4 million convertible loan right now, and then we're looking to raise a £4 million round late this year, early next year. In our history, we've raised about 5.5 million, and this raise now should take us into those 4 big markets and cash flow positive at that point. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
We always love a sample where it's possible. Judges.
I was a bit disappointed with these leather samples instead of a Chanel bag, but that's okay. We forgive you for that. I was going to ask you about the demand for leather. I mean, obviously we hear a lot of things about the industry and the news, but how is that impacting your growth and scalability, and where you're heading in terms of the pipeline?
No, thanks. There's 2 different trends there. There's no question in the last few years there's been the growth of vegan leathers, or so-called vegan leathers, which at this point are generally, there's a range of different plant fibers, but mostly PU or PVC backed, so basically fossil fuel plastic. But at the same, and I think they're going to be really struggling as the new regulations are coming in. People are realizing that is not a sustainable solution, and there are health and all sorts of other issues associated with that. There are some new materials, sort of purely bio-based materials coming through. And that's good to see, and that certainly is pushing the leather sector to improve. But those don't necessarily have the performance characteristics, and there's a whole set of new supply chains to be built. Whereas, leather has, as I say, millions of tons a year of a raw material coming in, and the sector is really improving in terms of its footprint. What we're doing is really helping them to get to the next level, so that they're on par not only on the performance side, but also on the sustainability footprint side.
Thanks very much. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know that much about the construction of the tanning market. So you talked a bit about the total size of the market, and I saw the customers that you're already working with. But kind of how is that characterized in terms of, is it large conglomerates? So if you're into one, you can land and expand, or is it really fragmented and you've got to make multiple sales to individuals?
There's a mixture. So we've got so there's certainly some tanning groups that are global, I should say. So the industry size is about a 60 billion market. Leather products is 400 or 500 billion, but leather within that, just the leather before it goes into products, is about 60, and we think there's about a 4 billion addressable market for what we are doing within that. So there are about 20 large international groups that have multiple tanneries around the world, but most of our customers are small to, they're not small companies, they're large local enterprises, family-owned groups. And it tends to be quite a geographically focused market in Brazil, Mexico, Italy, India, Vietnam, and then China's the largest that we'll go into eventually at some point. But it means that our team can, once we're present in a market, it's very accessible to, it's really a direct sales model rather than having to, cover the whole country geographically separately.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, callers. Thanks for keeping on time, everyone. Judges, 2 to go. You want your samples back, sir? It's not a bag. I'm not going to keep
If
them.
it was a handbag.
Yeah. Excellent. We've got 2. How's everyone's brains? Keeping going. Everyone got their AIs on to translate the words they don't understand? The numbers? We'll be there soon. Okay. Next up, we have Liju from Cool Run. Liju, give us... Oh, you're right here. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lijo Jose, and I'm the CEO of Hubble Logistics Limited, where our mission is to decarbonize food transport. Cold chain failures cost us hundreds of billions every year in food waste. Between 25 to 50% of vaccines perish because of cold chain gaps. Cold chain logistics predominantly depends on diesel refrigerated trucks, but it's technically the most polluting urban road vehicle, releasing methane, NOx, and refrigerants into densely populated areas. It's so fragile and breakdown prone that even the most critical deliveries, whether it is for humanitarian efforts, of military, of blood, medicines, food, it's not a reliable system at all. And Cool Run, therefore, is creating the cold chain the world urgently needs. We are transforming the 113 billion food transport industry with sustainable modular temperature control pods. Our pods use patent-pending passive cooling technology to keep itself cold for 30 hours and frozen for 17. It is fully integrated with IoT tracking and has a low maintenance 10-year life with no mechanical or moving parts. But Cool Run is more than just a product. It's a system shift. We are decoupling cold chain from diesel trucks. Now cold products can move via rail, boats, cargo bikes, vans. It's plug-and-play cold chain that just works. The UK is our core market, where we have de-risked the tech and proven demand. We have 45,000 pounds in committed sales so far and an 11 million near-term probability-weighted pipeline. We are either actively conducting trials with some of the largest supermarket chains in the UK and food businesses, or pending trials with large supermarket chains. We also due to start trials with the largest supermarket chain in Africa, where food waste ranges anywhere from 40% up to 70% in some countries. So we are seeing a lot of demand coming from Africa at this point. We are mass manufacture ready, having invested over 2.5 to 3 million pounds into our manufacturing capability to date, mainly funded by UKRI grant funding. And our first 100 mass manufactured pods are finalized for August of this year. We are raising 3 million pounds in equity. This is predominantly to scale our sales and marketing, to launch new product variants like Cool Run Mini for the van market, and a click and collect chilled locker for grocery collections, as well as a rental model. We have a highly experienced team, including former head of quality control at Tesco Fresh Produce, former head of marketing at DHL Express. We like to say we are a combination of thought leaders, hands-on engineers, and entrepreneurs with successful business track records. Just to recap, what Cool Run is doing to cold chain logistics is what shipping containers have done for global trade. We are modularizing it, we are making it intermodal and universally deployable. For investors, this is a real chance to shape the infrastructural backbone of sustainable food systems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lijo.
Thanks very much. I've got lots of questions, but maybe go for a couple. So, first one, can you say a bit about business model in terms of kind of unit sales or coldness as a service, coolth as a service, we'll call it. And sure. The other one is about kind of how the units are powered. Is that done by the customer, or do you need service hubs in order to create a coldness before going to service the customers?
Yeah, so we are currently in the market with a direct sale approach. So we sell the pods for £2,500 to £3,000, and it has a 45% gross margin. We do have the plans to launch a rental model at the end of the year that's been fully scoped out, and it has a asset finance component, which is one of the reasons why we are raising $3 million. Your second question about how the pod is kept cold, it uses thermal batteries or phase change material, which is frozen down at the customer's depot. So most of our customers are food businesses. They already have freezers where they keep their food frozen, and so this takes a very small space as a ratio of the goods in the pod. So they use the spare capacity, and so in effect, sometimes you get cooling for free because you have extra space in your freezer.
So after the unit sale, you then don't have an involvement in the operation of the units?
No. So this is, in the direct sale model, the customer owns the pods and it's in their closed loop system. In the rental model, we'll retain the ownership. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Thank you so much. How about competition? Anybody who that compares, and how has the traction been so far in terms of the demand for orders, etc., from these after these trials or during these trials?
In terms of competition, 99.99% is the existing diesel refrigerated trucks. They do most of the work. There are companies out there who try to make the fridge cleaner and more efficient, but you're still left with either high costs or some remaining emissions and the lack of modularity. So it's still not a level playing field for the other modes of transport. Sorry, your second question was?
Yeah, I'm just really like, what's the traction been and the feedback and the demand, and also what is your main sort of key selling points for these supermarkets to switch to you?
Sure. So one of the key use cases is for transport. So it's a massive industry. We consume 50 billion pounds of cold food every year. So this is a sustainable way to transport cold products in a vehicle. You normally have 50% cold and 50% ambient, but supermarkets and people, they cool the entire thing. So that's just a lot of diesel waste. Hence, we are providing cold where cold is required. The conversation with the UK's largest supermarket at present is for two purposes. One is in-store stocking of shelves. So it's more of a mobile cold storage. Because things sit in a roll cage and go out of temperature. And the other one is about quick commerce, because the driver comes late to pick up the goods and someone has to put it back in the fridge and so on. So this is on-site cold storage use cases. The ones in Africa is for transport.
Thank you so much, Nature. I really appreciate it. Right. Next up, we have Andy from Nature Broking. Round of
Thank
applause.
you very much. I mean, look at the stamina in this room.
This is the last one. Here we go.
I will be
Good
very
job.
quick. I'll do it in 1 minute. Not really. It'll be ridiculous. Right, Andy Harris from Nature Broking. I'm the managing director and co-founder. So we are the premium natural capital and carbon credit intermediary for the world's largest organizations. Here's the rub. Every single company in the world to reach net zero will have to use high-quality carbon credits. But the problem is the market currently is fragmented and incredibly complex, and too risky for large companies to engage with by themselves. That's where we come in. We are at the vanguard of professionalizing and financializing this market, which is critical to bringing it to scale to fight climate change and nature loss. What does that practically mean? Well, we as a company commercialize this and get it onto the board's agenda and work with the CFO, not the CSO, in a way that actually works for their business and their bottom line. We build diversified, de-risked and insurable portfolios of carbon credits that can even be brought forward for the long-term net zero years. We underpin all of this by market-leading due diligence, which is critical for transparency and ensuring that we only work with the best products. That due diligence, we actually sell as a service now to Big Four banks and other large institutions, and we're using AI in order to get that time down from days to mere minutes in terms of doing the due diligence. Been around for about 18 months, and we've had a pretty fast 18 months. I joke I'm a lot grayer than I was a year and a half ago. We've managed to win a whole bunch of fantastic clients, as you can see up there. We are going to do about £1.6 million by the end of this year. That will actually make us profitable. But we don't want to just be profitable. Now is the opportunity to capture this market and run at it as fast as possible. So that's why we're raising £1 million to do 3 fundamental things. Those things are unlock capacity within our team and capture the core market, our core market in the UK. So we have more proposals coming in than we can deal with in our team at the moment, and we need to hire quickly and get out there and start capturing the opportunity. Otherwise, we're going to miss it because the market is exploding around us. The second thing that we need to do is take that successful model that we're proving in the UK and apply it to Europe, to analogous markets. So we're looking at Germany, France, Italy, and a couple of others. And then the final critical thing, as I mentioned, is our due diligence as a service and due diligence function. So we've already built our MVP for our AI-enabled software around our due diligence, and we're going to supercharge that and build more tech around that so that we can get that onboarding time for projects all the way down to a few minutes. So who are we? Well, my background's in banking and finance. I come from a background of climate sustainability risk within that. My co-founder, Luke, and CEO, his background is in insurance. Our head of science, who heads up our due diligence, he comes from the UN, the IUCN, and he is an expert ecologist. Basically, we are at the vanguard of professionalizing this market, and that's why our chair, Peter, the former CEO of Legal and General Investment Management, is backing us as the next big thing in carbon asset management. Thank you very much.
We're all gone. No. Thank you so much. Very interesting. How do you, I mean, you've got some decent names already on the board. How is the pipeline and all these proposals you're dealing with? What kind of customers are you looking at, and what is the business model to maintain the revenue?
Yeah, sure. So we do a couple of things. So we sit in the middle. We broker the credits. Our shiny product is big portfolios that are multi-year deals. We've just sold one, for example, to a big law firm. 5-year deal, £2.5 million, £500,000 a year, where we manage their portfolio for them, sell them the credits. Now, that comes with an account management fee and some margin. And then the simpler transactions are brokerage on credits, where we take the margin and sit in the middle. But we wrap all of that around with high-quality advisory services so that we can actually guide them to the right solution, become a long-term partner, which is what our competitors are missing.
Thanks very much. This is another area that's really competitive, and I've heard many a pitch in this space, particularly in the last kind of 18 months. So why do customers choose you versus the other providers out there?
Yeah, no, look, and it is a competitive space, and that's a good thing because we need to scale this market. But those guys on the screen that choose us are coming to us for a few different reasons. Number one, the trust in the premium supply that we've got, which are underpinned by our due diligence. So we only work with the best projects, local projects that we can actually bring them to the site of. So we do that in the UK. Actually had a competitor ring us up the other week asking for credits that we have that they don't. Number two is the sophistication of our product, that we can work with these large organizations to do things like capitalize carbon credits on their balance sheet as an asset and buy forward in diversified portfolios. So it's the sophistication of the product. And the final thing is the service. So we are a people-led, tech-enabled company. We're not a self-serve platform asking them to do all the heavy thinking. That's what we do. We build the strategy, come in, manage it over time at a long-term multi-year contract.
Brilliant. There we go. We got there. Andy, well done. Kept on time. Well done, judges. Now we're going to take the microphones off you now because we don't want to hear your deliberations.
Between each other.
Or your foul language. No.
5 minutes.
So you've got, judges, we're going to give you 15 hours. Minus 14 hours, 55. You've got 5 minutes to deliberate. If you can do it in less, there are prizes available. Excellent. Whilst we've got a couple of minutes. By the way, well done, all startups. That was brilliant. Thank you. Not just the ones pitching who've just pitched, but all the ones that have pitched in the last 3 days and the ones that applied. Some of you also in the audience behind those who've pitched. We've now got a couple of minutes. This is a chance. This is the last session of Reset Connect. This is your chance to say, hi, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing, and just get the word out, because there's a group of people here who are really well connected and all trying to do the same thing in the world, solve big problems and grow. So we might be able to help each other. So let's make a couple more connections. Who would like to share what they're working on? If not, we're coming to you, going to choose. All right, Jana's coming to you. 20 seconds. Let us know who you are, what you're doing. Let's get that mic on.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Ikram. I'm the co-founder of Greencore Consulting. Greencore, to make things simple. I come from 10 years of background in finance, in infrastructure financing in the UK. I worked for renowned institutions in the market like Santander and Goldman Sachs. And that led me to this adventure. So what we do, in simple terms, we have two key verticals. The first one is, and we are really the only ones who provide this in the market, which is a combined approach to advisory for green transition infrastructure assets in the UK, but also abroad. As my accent suggests, I'm not just a UK national, I'm also Moroccan, with a strong French background as well. So that comes in with a lot of experience and knowledge of international markets. I do that with my co-founder who has 30 years experience in the environmental sector. So we do provide environmental, technical engineering advisory, but also project finance advisory to green transition projects. And in that sense, that's a really strong, what we believe at least is a really strong proposal.
Amazing. You gave a 4-minute pitch
I'm
in a minute.
stopping here.
Your name once more, the name of the consulting business?
It's Greencore Consulting.
Greencore Consulting, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's hear some more. Yes, behind you, Jana.
Thank you so much.
And then over here. Nice and quick.
Yeah, hi. I'm with Leonhard, based out in Berlin, Germany. I'm running since 2010 Waterwind, Water Venture, abbreviation, waterwind.com. We are matching a neglected area of clean technologies, that means water tech startups with investors and clients. I'm inviting everybody who feels appealed. The next forum will take place in San Francisco in October 24th. Waterwind.com. Feel welcome. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm going to pass the mic here.
Cheers, thank you. I'm Ronald Clancy. I'm the founder of AI TrackMate. We're about to launch our first product, which is AI EcoTrack. It's the first passive tracker of AI usage, and will give you visibility of the environmental impact of your AI usage from a CO2, water, and energy perspective. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Have a wave
I want to ask a question about how
Yes,
that's going to run on. That's a great thing to tackle.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Trusha Patel, the founder and managing director of Love Vivacity. We're a management consultancy working primarily on the engagement stewardship side and helping to implement sustainability in company culture as well. Background, got about 20 years in investment banking and finance, and coming in from that change finance side. So we're helping companies be able to release budgets as well and engage with finance teams to implement and make sustainability happen.
The name of the service?
Lovevivacity.com.
Say it so again once more.
Love, emotion, and vivacity.
Love Vivacity. Excellent. We're also getting people's full CVs here. So fantastic. All right. Let's
How we get on, judges?
Yeah, a few more here. 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes.
Anyone
Jana
on
over
the
here. Okay. Sorry, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got you. Yeah. Okay.
I'm Joanne, from a patent attorney from Ready and Growth. So not in the startup space, but we help startups and different companies get their patents. But also we prepare patent strategies, but also due diligence as well, which is also helpful for investors. So that's Joanne at Ready and Growth.
Fantastic. Get your patent there.
That's a pitch.
Patents for sale. At the back.
Hello everyone, my name is Khaled. I'm from Tunisia and I'm managing an acceleration program for green startups. For any one of you who's interested in soft lending in the North African market and getting access to the North African market, we're here for you. We're called Impact Partner, and we are launching our social fund by the end of the year. So there's funds, there's investments. Welcome to the market.
Fantastic. And is it in Tunisia that it takes place?
Yes, in Tunisia.
So if you're
the
North
market's in
American
Tunisia,
market.
Impact Partner.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Impact accelerators go beyond Shoreditch. This is good news. All right, a couple more here.
Hi everyone, I'm Vishy. I'm the co-founder and CEO of HabitSust, an e-commerce marketplace for very honest, transparent brands to be able to verify it against 5 metrics: people, planet, animal, social, circularity, 6, and transparency. A place where conscious buyers can meet conscious brands. HabitSust.
The name once more?
HabitSust.
HabitSust.
Yeah.
Got it. Fantastic. Behind you there. Yeah.
Sorry.
Our friend here. Ready? Great. Last one.
Hi, my name is Andrei, Flux Aviation.
and I am the co-investor of this beautiful project in the air mobility. We're electrifying airplanes. We're not building the aircraft, the old fuselage structure, the engine, the battery system. We're making the powertrain system, battery pack, engine, avionics, and retrofitting fuel engine thermal aircraft on a Cessna, for instance, replacing this fuel system by a electric powertrain. Flux Aviation Ltd. Thank you.
Floats Aviation, thank you. Chris, can we pass the mic to you over there? Jana.
Gone through all the mics. Now this mic's dead. Is it working? No, here we go. Okay, so I think we've come to a decision. The notes were compared, and actually I think we're going to run through the decisions. We've got a short list, and then we're going to go to the winner.
So thank you very much to everybody that came and pitched. I know it's not an easy thing to do, and to do it in front of your peers as well is very difficult. And the quality of the pitches was fantastic all around, and a very tough deliberation. You saw us hiding in the corner. So we decided that we would give a kind of highly commended or shout out to a shortlist, which I'll do, and then Marta will announce the winner. So our shortlist for the selection in the highly commended category is to Sayab, to Luwat, and to Eggy and Nutty, which I know is Otan.
And as they say, the winner is I don't have an envelope with me, so I'm just going to have to do it without that. We do have the little statue which Alexa would give out, but the winner, despite the lack of a Chanel handbag, the winner is Qualis. It was amazing. I think we believe that the product, the business, the scalability and the adaptability was most powerful.
Oh, there she is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to everybody involved. That was very exciting. I really... That's not the aim of the game, that I enjoy myself, but I really did. Congratulations to you. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to Ben and Jana and Alex for bringing the competition here again, because it was very, very good. And thank you to all of you for being so engaged and for being part of Reset Connect this year, because that's it. There's a couple of things I just want to say apart from thank you. I've got a little request. Because we have engaged with sustainability consultants again this year, Green Circle Solutions, we are gathering data on your travel. And it really, really helps us if you can contribute to that survey. The travel carbon calculator is available in the app, and it would be brilliant if you wouldn't mind taking part in that. And you just need to enter as much information as you can, but it will only take you about 2 minutes, probably less for you because you're all so smart. And if you have got a long journey, may I just plug my new podcast is out. It's called Positive Impact. It's also a video cast, my first one, and it's with WSP, and we are tackling lots of things like AI, future, climate resilience, all the things that you've been talking about and are interested in and working in. It's been so fantastic to meet so many people. You're so impressive. If I could just make one other request, is that you just carry on working at the pace with the commitment that you are. I know it's hard, but you are unbelievably brilliant, and I have just been buoyed by this last 2 days, and it's just been such a highlight of London Action Climate Week for me personally. It's all about me, isn't it? Well, hopefully, I wonder if I'll see some of you in Leeds, because as we know from earlier on today, Reset Connect is going on a little tour up the M1 or M6. It's been a while, I can't remember how to get there. But anyway, we'll all see you in Leeds, 3rd and 4th of March, 2026, when we get to spread the word even more. So thank you to the organisers of Reset Connect, to Rob, to Duncan, to all of the team. Thanks to the team here as well, to Peter and Robin. And I hope to see you again really, really soon. But that's it. Peace out. Thank you.